Welcome back, everybody. CYBE King and Shu is here to show you guys how to have the best settings for Voicemeeter and the best settings for OBS. I'm here to show you guys how to have the settings for your computer. So it depends on like if you have a Linux or a Mac or a Windows. I will show you on a Windows, but some things I can't show you on Mac. But if you guys really want that, definitely say it in the comments or let me know in the YouTube community. But let's get right in it with a few announcements that I'll be your mentor for this series, and I'll be going over different pieces of how Voicemeeter works. So Voicemeeter, Voicemeeter Banana, mainly here with Voicemeeter Banana, I'll be showing you live in action, but then also Potato is the same exact idea, just more components. Now, if you guys are confused on one part or just completely lost, go back to a previous video because all the videos are going to get harder and harder and more technical. So we're going into different softwares like OBS, we'll go into Zoom, we'll go into a few others that are coming out in the series. So if you're lost, go back. But right here, we'll show you guys how OBS works and Voicemeeter. So let's get right in it. My OBS right here. So this is how it looks. I'll show you my Voicemeeter, and I'm using Voicemeeter Banana. And this is the live presentation that I'm having right here. So I have images of Voicemeeter that you saw from the previous video, and Voicemeeter Potato is on their website. I'll have everything down in the description. But for a live video right here, I'll show you on Voicemeeter Banana. So the main components and the main functions you want are primarily to have your input and output together. That comes for the first video, and having everything aligned with your system. So let's see how we can look up what our system is. I think mine is just system information on PC. I'm on the Windows 10. Might be a little bit different for Windows 11, but it should be exactly the same thing. And on Macintosh, it should be to the top left, and you hit the about your computer or about your system, and you should be able to see your system name, your components, your RAM, and your SSD. This is where we're going to do the same thing on Windows. I see my processor. You can also see your processor, basically your system information that you can see. So understanding your system information is very important, so you don't make any low balls or anything going over the system's qualifications and anything that can the system can handle in general. So, and then also, let me go back. So also understanding your RAM, your physical and virtual RAM. So your physical RAM is basically you having actual RAM. So the amount of RAM available with your sticks. So you could have 2 sticks, that's 8, that's 16. You could have 4 sticks of 8, which is 32. So just being able to know how many sticks you have. And then your virtual RAM is added on from your CPU. If I'm being exact of that, let me know in the comments. That's added on from your CPU and your GPU. So then altogether, you'll have like 36.7 that I have right here. I'll probably zoom in. And I have 32 physical RAM, which is a physical memory, which is just the RAM. Just understanding that is very important. Once you understand that, you'll go into Voicemeeter. And if you have Voicemeeter, Voicemeeter Banana, or Potato, you want to connect everything, right? So making sure Voicemeeter Banana is connected to your master. So let's go down to your master. This is just going over a lot of stuff I went over in the first video. And then go into your playback. Just making sure we're all caught up. Your Voicemeeter input is here, and your recording, your Voicemeeter output is here, right? So making that default. So I won't go over this in every single video. We'll just go straight into the basics of the video. And here's the basic of it here, where Voicemeeter Banana is one of your mics. So I'm using my HyperX mic. You could be using another mic. It really doesn't matter as long as it's connected. The output is like one of your monitors, one of your speakers, one of your physical outputs, your A's. Your B's is basically your virtuals, so your VAIO and your aux for the Voicemeeter Banana. So make sure that's set up, and you can change your compression, your gate, just going by what your physical mic is, or even your virtual inputs to add in treble and bass and different stuff like that. So now we go into OBS right here, and OBS is basically a open broadcast software. You're able to broadcast your video and audio to different platforms, or a custom server that you can make. So let's go to the audio, and you want to now make sure your desktop or your desktop 2 or then one of your mics is aligned with Voicemeeter. So right here I have my input as my desktop audio, and then my desktop audio 2 is my aux input, and then my mic is my Voicemeeter output. So it might be a little weird, but that's how you're supposed to do it. Is your input into your desktop, and then your mic is your output going through Voicemeeter. So that's basically how you set it up. And some of the settings I would do it here. So this wouldn't be I guess grayed out. It's actually available if you're not broadcasting of any kind, so not recording or streaming. Usually you'll want the higher the number and sample rate, the better. So you want to do a 48.1 that's available kilohertz in OBS. And then your channels, usually you want to go with stereo. You can go with the 5.1, 7.1, which is surround sound, but you want to really make it more of a broad and general case. You don't want to make it so specific for certain pieces of hardware where people are able to see your streams and see your recording. So you want to make it more generic, or you want to put it out to surround and have a certain type of video. That's on you. That's on your type of video, your type of stream. So usually I want to put out stereo, so it's better connected wise. The meters, I haven't messed with this too much, but the meters don't particularly matter. I try to have everything understandable and where it can be heard. So if the noise is crackling and it's uneven or breaks out and then the gate gets in the way, I try to make sure that I go back to taking some stuff out and adding other stuff back in. So adding more and adding less. So that's just some of the tips I'll say out throughout the whole video. So not much in the meters. In the advanced I mess with like the monitoring device. I don't need a monitoring device. That's for looking at certain things of your particular device. Hotkeys are good. So you can mess with hotkeys. You can add in different pieces, like the push to talk, push to mute. You can add in stuff that you need. I particularly don't need it, but we'll move on to now the stream or to the output. And this is very essential because this is how it's going to be reciprocated through your streaming or through your recording. But first, you usually want to look at the audio. And then usually this is not grayed out when you're streaming or recording. In your tracks, you want 320 for your streaming, and then you want a 256 for your recording. That because you're able to have a higher bit rate when you're streaming, which is better in real time. But then in recording, you want to like lay it back a little bit so you can add in effects and add in different stuff usually that you would do more in editing than recording, which in streaming. So you generally want more room for your recording than your streaming, because when you're streaming, you're not going to usually take it out and edit it. You're going to leave it as is. But recording, you want 256, and you want to be able to put in special effects like compressor. You can put in noise gate. You can put in whatever you want. You put in a fade, but then you want to leave room for that for the recording. So 320 for the track, and then 256 for all your other tracks that are recording, basically. So then I mark it as that for my recording. I leave it as standard in the OBS, and then I also make sure that I'm on VBR. VBR, so then here with the rate control, the VBR is more for like higher quality results, like when you're recording or when you're streaming. There's also CBR, and then you can change it, but then I really don't want to do that because I don't want to do too much in editing. The CBR is more for like consistency and time sensitive encoding. So it really depends on how you're going to stream. It depends on your internet connection. It depends on how you're going to edit it for this recording. Also, the bitrate and the max bitrate, you want to go off of how. So here for recording, you really want to go off of how your microphone bitrate is to your OBS, and like the bitrate idea is how your audio is transmitting into different softwares. So that's like the sense of it and like the term of it. And I'll have this in the description. I'll have like one article, and it's by Adobe, and shout out to Adobe because I've always used Adobe, and Adobe is amazing. I just want to give that shout out. So bitrate, in their definition, bitrate is used to describe the amount of data being transferred into audio. A higher bitrate generally means better audio quality, and bitrate is going to determine audio fidelity. And then that is said by producer and engineer Gus Berry. Shout out to him too. So basically, it's how your audio is being transferred from bytes to like the software, right? And like how many bytes it needs. So it might need an 8-bit, 16-bit, so on and so forth, right? That's how bitrate works, right? And there's different cases of it. So here, when you're not really putting out your bitrate to streaming, there's a few less variables. So it's just basically how your microphone is and how your microphone is relating to the software that you're using. So for me, I keep it at 9,000, and then the max bitrate is 15,000, and then it's read in kbps. Then the keyframe, I keep it at 0. The preset and profile, these are to help with performance and to layer out how your audio is being used in OBS. So preset, I keep it at low latency performance, and the main, I keep it at, the profile, I keep it at main. And then I have never really used look ahead. This is to enable dynamic B-frames. I haven't used that. And then cycle visual tuning. This is used to encoding settings and like optimization of your bitrate. I just keep that on. And then these are just by default, 0 for GPU and then 2 for max B-frames. There's a few more variables. I'll go back to the bitrate. There's a few more variables on the streaming, and like I said, the CBRs for like consistent time encoding. And then so I have that at 6,000, right? So then the extra variable is how your internet is and how your microphone is going to the OBS, and then how all of your internet is coming into that. So the latency, the connection to your internet, if you're Wi-Fi and connected. Yeah, I got the McDonald's Wi-Fi. I got the McDonald's connection right there, and how fast it is, right? So I'll give a quick example on how to see your internet speed. So I just do speed test, and then I go to speed test, and we're going to do a live right here. And then I literally just use this one. Shout out to them. I just use speedtest.net. So it's good. You usually want to have your internet 5 or below, like really below 5 to 0, you know, and that's like kind of nearly impossible for my studies. If it's not, let me know in the comments. But I usually just see ones for the highest or the lowest. I really see a 0 ping because that's more like just LAN connection. Then we got a 12. So they're actually reading the pings for the download and the upload, which is pretty cool. It's a 12 ping for the download, and then there's a ping of 16 for the upload. So that means it takes a more, it doesn't take longer. There's more of an interruption from what I was studying long ago. There's more of an interruption in your uploading than you're downloading, and then your overall ping of internet connection is 4. So it's not much of an interruption, which is fine. Like it's usually around, like you should aim for like 8 to 7 for your download, and then same thing, 8 to 7 for your upload. So that's my speed right there. That's how you find it. So once you find it, you take your upload speed. So it's 839.74. Let's make another tab, and I have a link right here. I'll put this down in the description, and I want to test this manually. Well, then I usually press it here. I usually go by how they put it in, right? So then I just get another resource. So I just get another thing to look at, another resource. So I look at this, the 839. This is an Mbps. Then I look at this right here, and I relate and calculate all my numbers, and I pick the best number that I can pick. So I usually pick the lowest because that's more realistic and reasonable. So 45.4 is my Mbps. Then I just do 45.4 Mbps to kbps. So I just use Google. Shout out to Google. They have cool converters and calculators on there. 45,400 kilobyte per second, kbps, right? And then I take this, I divide it in half, and I use a subset of each and every half. So I basically divide by 2 by each one, and then I use that for my for my numbers here. So then that ends up being, we can do it real quick. That ends up being
subset. So,
I'm at like 23, and then a subset of that, boom, and then it's really high, and then I downplay it. So what in my head is like 10,000, 11,000. I downplay it, and then I put like 9,000 for my recording, right? So I go to like 9,000 for my recording, and then I go even lower because of the internet aspect. I go to 6,000, and then and you also have to go by what your platform is, so your service. If you're on Twitch, if you're on all these other sites, Restream, if you're on Facebook, there's so many others in the past, but I'll just mention these. If you're on YouTube streaming, you have to go by their rules. That's why mine is lower. So I would have put it at 8,000, 9,000 because I know I can handle that, but not partnered yet, 9 years, it's all goody. I go by what they have. So if you're not partnered, you don't have the full capabilities of streaming at the highest because they limit you. It's bandwidth limit is basically what it is. So it's not much of a bandwidth limit because there's always a limit. You don't want to have everyone having so much push and pull to your servers. It's not smart. So they have less of a restricted bandwidth. You can stream at the 9,000 to 10,000, but for Twitch it's 6,000 kbps, and then that's all of what bitrate is, and then the appropriate bitrate and how you can find it. Then the keyframe interval, I keep it at 1, and then the preset and profile, and then the GPU and max B frames. If you want me to go in detail on each and every one, definitely let me know. I'll do a separate video on OBS itself and go into each and every aspect, but I wanted to go into certain points for certain reasons, right? So the most important points were the bitrate of your recording and your streaming, and then how to find the best settings for that, right? Which is what I just explained, and then relating that now to your more standard settings, which is your tracks, and connecting the Voicemeeter with like your physical and virtual type of inputs and outputs. And then video is not in this video. So that's all of what audio and output for OBS is, and then how Voicemeeter will be and should be connected, and then generally how you would go into detail of that and understanding it is in the previous videos. So that's all of what I wanted to show. We'll be going into Zoom and a few other ideas coming through. If you think I missed anything, definitely let me know. This one part I was thinking about too, and it's the advanced. Not much in the advanced for audio, because I haven't really seen it. It's just video and recording. But then in the recording, it's just your file name formatting, which is how you want it to look after you recorded, and then the overwrite, if it's this, and automatically by remix, all that stuff. I haven't really touched it, didn't really need to. And then the replay I haven't touched, and I haven't put a suffix there. So the stream delay, actually this is 1.2. The stream delay you will want to mess with a little bit, depending on your service. So if you're going to Twitch, it's usually by 30 seconds, but you can change it to 20, 15, but you kind of get played with a little bit if you're not partnered. So because partners don't really have a delay of more than 10 seconds, or like their limit to say is really 5 seconds if I remember it, but it's usually 5 to 10 seconds. You can mess with that in your Twitch settings as well, but then usually with partners you want to keep it lower. But then with the regular affiliate, now you could be affiliate on Twitch, is like 20, 25, 30. So I keep mine at 30. So that was just one point off of advanced settings. So yeah, that's really it. I appreciate you guys watching. All the other tutorials are going to go into other aspects and in their own technical fields of it. Thank you for watching. All the other videos I'm going to go into the other subtopics and topics and breaking them down, like how I broke this down. And if you guys are lost, go back to the first video. Even the second video is going into OBS, but it's going into how to sync your audio. So it's kind of like offsetting, and I went into that already. That's a previous video, and this is the third video that we done. And I'm looking at my list now. We have a lot more videos to go over, so definitely stay tuned, stay subscribed, and definitely keep your notifications on at all times. because the more material we make, the more it's going to get more technical, and we could bounce into another playlist. So more material means more, I guess, teaching for you guys, and more open windows for you to ask questions and to let me know of like what you think of a video, what other videos you're thinking about of making yourselves, or streams or recordings, or even giving ideas of videos for this channel. So but yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys being here. Definitely stay tuned, more coming your way. Take care and peace out.